Welcome to the 517 In Your Business podcast. Here's your host, Mary Gaida.
Our guest today on the 517 In Your Business podcast was integral to helping us shape our September issue of 517 Business, which was focused on manufacturing. But what's most important is that the conversation on manufacturing continues, especially as we head into October, which is National Manufacturing Month. Not only is she more vocally passionate about getting the word out on manufacturing than anyone I've ever known, but her actions follow suit. From Rosie the Riveter Day to spreading the word about career pathways in manufacturing, she is a huge advocate and champion, not only in the region, but I think the state. Please help me welcome Executive Director at Capital Area Manufacturing Council, Cindy Kangas.
Thank you. Thanks, Mary.
You're very welcome. I mean, you earn a much longer introduction than that because you do so much. And I don't think people have a clue.
I like to say that I get to do it, not that I have to do it. It is really a joy representing manufacturing in our state. I love it.
Now, first off, thank you for sitting with me behind the scenes and helping me understand the true value and importance of manufacturing in our region. I mean, we look around and sure, we see a lot of manufacturing, but I think we really have no clue until we do. So in the article you wrote for us, you shared some incredible figures. You said 242 manufacturing establishments in this region, employing 7,332 residents, and that makes up almost 11% of our workforce.
Oh, yes. And I'm not sure people realize that. I think that I'm not sure people realize how broad manufacturing is. When you think about a small brewery, they're manufacturing beer.
Yes.
And then you think about ag tech and biotech and all of the different kinds of manufacturing. You know, your neighbors are there. There are people working in these factories. We drive by them every day. They're billion-dollar industries. And we should have a sense of pride because there are some great things going on, but it's kind of the best kept secret that shouldn't be a secret, as you're mentioning. All of these people that are working these jobs and are proud of what they do, and yet we don't always know what's going on in there.
You said 3 words to me when we sat down together a few months ago that I've not forgotten and probably never will now. When it comes to manufacturing, you said manufacturing is making.
Mm-hmm.
And that allowed me to see everything in a whole new light. If you are making something, you are a manufacturer.
It's true. Sometimes I'll say that to people and they kind of do a double take. But I think that because we're from Michigan and manufacturing is in our DNA, we tend to associate it with the big 3. But when you stand back and think about anyone that's making something, that can be a small business person that's, making soaps to sell out of their,
right,
out of their little soap stand or something. It can be very small and it can be very large, but we're all a part of this chain, this manufacturing chain.
And every bit of it is important. I mean, we could talk endlessly about, the compliance rules, the tariff spikes, EV readiness, all the things. I do want to talk about the manufacturing workforce, though. How big of a challenge is the workforce with training and recruitment and retaining talent, especially with those really specialized skills?
I think the bigger issue is just the decline in population.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of manufacturers who love reaching out to young people and talking to them. And they'll say, if you have a good attitude and you show up to work, and you have those soft skills and maybe you have some interest in something techy, but you don't know, you're good with your hands or you just want to try something. If you have a good attitude, manufacturing has this culture of just nurturing our employees and training them and helping them learn the skills that they need, if not on the job, but sending them off to school and paying for some of their education so that they can learn these things. So I'm less concerned about, the pipeline and people understanding what the specific jobs entail, because they, as you mentioned, they are evolving, more engineering, more robotics, more AI. But there are manufacturers that are coaching, teaching, and mentoring their staff members so that they're ready. So I don't want people to be scared of manufacturing.
Right.
I want them to go in, that I want them to be curious, and I want them to understand that it's a family. And if you find the right culture, your managers will help you kind of learn all of these jobs that are arising right now.
You said the word family, and that really did stand out to me when we were preparing our September issue of 517 Business. No matter blood relation or no, all of these facilities were like family.
Mm-hmm.
It's really impressive. National Manufacturing Day kicks off a month-long celebration that is designed to change the narrative of manufacturing and showcase those pathways and inspire students from all over the region. You've said the words you can't be what you can't see. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Well, I mean, if I'm a seventh grader and maybe a seventh grade girl, and maybe I saw a TV show where there was a female welder, and I went to school and asked my counselor, how do I become a welder? The chances are they may not know. I think that right now, caseloads in schools are heavy, and counselors have so many kids that they're serving that they don't always have time to study each and every individual career pathway. And
Mhm.
so my hope is that one, teachers and parents can act as influencers and help their kids understand that these are viable career pathways and they can go in so many different directions. But I also, it's our job as manufacturers and part of the manufacturing community to invite people in to these factories so they can see what's going on. And it's not just robotics and sensors and labs and engineering, but you'll also see packaging, and you'll also see shipping and receiving, and you'll see people working in the head office. Maybe they're doing marketing or accounting. There are so many jobs in manufacturing that are available to people, and they're just not presented to them. So that's our job, to help people, the influencers influence, and to help invite people in so they can see these career pathways.
Talk to me about how you think people outside of manufacturing may see it and the truth. Like, what does modern manufacturing really look like today?
Yeah, so we call it the 4Ds, the dirty, dark, dingy, dangerous. You know,
Hmm.
that's the old narrative. So again, if you grew up in Michigan like I did, chances are you had someone in your family that worked in manufacturing, and they'd come home and they were dirty, and you know,
Right.
OSHA standards weren't quite the same, and so it was very and labor intensive on their bodies. And now things are very different. You are seeing a lot more robotics. And so just the ergonomics, it's not the wear and tear on your body. We are seeing a lot more computers. And so we're seeing a lot more IT people. And we're seeing all of this, the evolution of med tech and biotech and farming and aerospace and defense. It's just, it's so different from what we may think. And again, it's no one's fault because we're seeing autos everywhere and we're seeing cars on these assembly lines everywhere, but it's so much more, and it's so
Mhm.
much cleaner and more high tech and engineering based than anyone could even imagine if they haven't seen it.
It's really exciting when you think about it. And what do you think in terms of AI? A lot of people are worried certain jobs will go away, but with manufacturing,
I mean, to be honest, in manufacturing, AI has been around for a long time. We've just called it different things. And so oftentimes I'll talk to people and I have to reassure them, it's not going to be the Terminator in there. We'll always need
right?
employees, from entry level up to engineering. Their jobs may change, but I haven't seen the number of jobs go down. I've seen them change. So if I had a job before and maybe there is a new machine that has some AI, maybe now I'm learning some of the technical things for the programming and that sort of thing. We're seeing it a lot in use of quality control and sensors for preventative maintenance. All of these things that are helping just to streamline the process so that when it comes out at the end, it's a better product. It's not really something that we need to be scared of in manufacturing, especially. It's been there forever, and we appreciate working alongside of it.
I love that. Now, nationwide, 3.8 million manufacturing jobs will need to be filled over the next 10 years. The Lansing region alone is home to hundreds of manufacturers, all these family owned machine shops you've talked about, the
Hmm.
global corporations, thousands of skilled workers employed. What do those jobs look like? And what steps can youth or folks that maybe are looking for a career change take to find out more?
Yeah, I think now there's always this push when kids are in high school. What do you want to be? And you
Mhm.
have to go to a 4-year university. And post-secondary options are much broader than that. Maybe you could just get a certification, or you could go to work in manufacturing and let them train you on the job, or let them pay for your career
Right.
education. It's very different. So I would say we'll see a lot more of the IT, computer-based programming, engineering sort of thing. But as I mentioned before, entry level will always be there. So if you come in and you're not sure what you want to do, and you're not sure college is right for you yet, or you want to wait until you know for sure what you want to do before you go to college, whatever it is, manufacturing, we can find a spot for you there. And you can move up the ladder as you get more education or as you get more training.
Cindy, what's one thing about manufacturing you wish more people understood, especially the non-industry stakeholders and public policy makers, or just the
Yeah.
general public?
Yeah, I think manufacturing is the hub. So oftentimes we see things happening long before the general public does. And last September, we were kind of bracing ourselves because we saw several things coming along the pipeline in manufacturing. And then as these things begin to affect the manufacturing climate, you'll see it's kind of spreading out to construction and to all of these other industries. It always starts in manufacturing. And we're also very tied to education. And so anytime you're watching education budgets looked at or being approved, we're very interested in CTE programming because we want the youth to be, trained and have those classes available to them in high school if they so choose. So that way they can come to us and they can have those trainings. So there are so many things that start with manufacturing and then they kind of ripple out into our community. So if you're paying attention, oftentimes you'll know things long before anyone else does just because you see it. Whether it's, things going on with the supply chain or things going on with prices of certain things, we always see it first and then it kind of trickles out. And sometimes I'll hear people talking about things and I'll shake my head and think, oh, just wait. Oh, just wait.
Right.
Like, it's almost like I know the secrets or I know what's happening inside and it just hasn't rippled out yet. And it always starts with us, the makers.
That's interesting. So as we're kind of closing out 2025, a few months left to go, what do you see happening that most of us don't know, but you're like, this is happening?
Yeah, I think this year for me, it's been tough because the manufacturers have had many different things come at them. You mentioned
Yes.
EV, you mentioned government contracts. We've talked about tariffs and even the earned sick leave and adjusting their staff to all of those sorts of things. I think right now we're breathing. And I kind of like through the beginning of the year and the middle of the year, I kind of related it to like you're standing on an ice rink, but you're in your tennis shoes and you're trying not to touch anything or fall down or slip,
Right,
just
right.
like if we don't touch anything, hopefully we'll make it through. And I don't want to say we're coasting because we're working very hard and we're still making sure that things are happening in
Right.
manufacturing. But because things have been a little turbulent off and on this year, we're just kind of breathing and trying to make sure that we're not moving too quickly. We want to be very thoughtful about the next steps.
Okay. Anything else that you want the public to know to help change that
Yeah.
manufacturing narrative?
So I think in manufacturing, the average age or the average worker is a 55-year-old white man, or it
Mhm.
has been.
Mhm.
And that's changing, 30% women. It's growing as, the jobs are becoming more flexible or there are different shifts available for childcare, that sort of thing. I'm seeing a lot of returning citizens. I'm seeing a lot of differently abled workers. I'm seeing a lot of English second language and refugees coming into the workplace. Manufacturing isn't just one human that you might think would work in manufacturing. It's everyone. There are jobs for everyone, and we welcome them.
All right,
Really.
Cindy, thank you so much. I know you were having a especially busy time going on this month with Manufacturing Month and always. But thank you for taking some time to let us get in your business today.
Thanks, Mary. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the 517 In Your Business podcast. Get to know local businesses better by reading 517 Business Magazine. Get your subscription at 517mag.com/subscribe.